3 meetings, 9 races and over 150 points still available in the battle to be crowned champion of British touring cars.
It's been between 2 drivers since the very start. Jason Plato in the Seat, Fabrizio Giovanardi in the Vauxhall Vectra. But we had to wait until last time out at Snetterton for the two to swap paint on track for the first time.
We're at Brands Hatch this afternoon for 3 rounds around the tight Indy circuit. And in a bumper afternoon of motor racing, we'll bring you all 3 touring car races in their entirety, as well as action from the Formula Renault and Formula BMW championships.
So here's confirmation of the British Touring Car Championship drivers' title standings after 21 rounds. Jason Plato has a 14-point advantage over Fabrizio Giovanardi, with Matt Neal 55 points behind in third. Colin Turkington's on pole after a rain-affected qualifying, and there's still rain in the air in this part of Kent for race 1 of the day. So we'll get straight to the action with our commentators Tim Harvey and Ben Edwards.
Let's take a look at how they are going to line up for the start of this race. On pole position, it's his 4th qualifying pole of the year for Colin Turkington. Alongside is Darren Turner, who lost pole by just 2 thousandths of a second. It was that close. Jason Plato, the championship leader, lines up in 3rd place, carrying maximum ballast. That was a brilliant effort in qualifying, but he's got a Vauxhall alongside, and Tom Chilton will be doing his best to work hard for Fabrizio Giovanardi, who's behind him. So Giovanardi starts in 5th place, carrying some ballast. He's got the fast starting Matt Jackson alongside. Next up, it's Gordon Shedden carrying 18 kilos of ballast, but a bit of a struggle for Team Halfords this weekend. He's 7th, Matt Neal's further back. In between them is Tom Onslow Cole, the winner of race 3 at Snetterton last time out. There then is Matt Neal, the reigning champion. He starts in 9th place on the grid, and the independence points leader, Mike Jordan, is alongside him. Adam Jones is back this weekend with Team Air Cool. He lines up 11th, and he's got a new teammate in Gavin Smith, who's next to him in the Seat. After that, it's Tom Ferrier, local lad. He's going to be starting from 13th place, and he's got his own teammate, Matt Allison, driving for the local-based team as well, together on the 7th row of the grid. Jason Hughes is 15th from the grid on the MG. The MG has always gone well here at Brands Hatch. Owen Murray next up in the Quest Racing Alfa Romeo. And then it's David Pinkney in the Alfa Romeo. He lines up in 17th place ahead of John George. John George had a bit of a tangle with Matt Allison in qualifying, but thankfully not too much damage was done. Richard Marsh lines up 19th, 20th for Erkut, our Turkish racer. Then 21st on the grid is Fiona Leggett in the 2nd of the Cartwell Racing MG. She's got Martin Bell in the BMW alongside her. And then at the back in the diesel-powered 1 Series BMW, it's Ipswich man Rick Kerry. And that's how they line up then for the start of this race. Last few cars are into position. Rick Kerry at the back in the white and yellow BMW. Final qualifier, he's in place. We're all set to go racing around the Brands Hatch circuit here in Kent. A rather damp Kent it is today, but it could make for some great racing. And away they go, and Turkington struggling a little bit, but Turner very slow off the front row, and Plato moves straight into 2nd place. And here comes Matt Jackson in the white BMW. Jackson's going to go around the outside of Turner through Paddock Hill Bend if he can. Turner will give him a squeeze. Oh, Jackson's off! Jackson spins in front of the pack. Oh, and he's hit by Matt Neal. He was bound to be hit by... Oh no, he gets hit by Tom Ferrier. Oh, we've got cars all over the place.
Oh, that's going to be a red flag for sure, but what a disastrous start. They got to paddock. Matt Jackson trying to go around the outside of a slow starting Darren Turner, and Matt Jackson got on the painted side of the tarmac, just the other side of the curb, lost it. I thought he got away with it, but he ended up in the middle of the track, and all hell broke loose. Here we go. Look at the white BMW on the outside. Turner pushes him a little bit wide, that's fair enough, but as soon as he gets on that tarmac, that painted tarmac, he spins. He's now in the middle of the road. Everybody's trying to avoid him. Matt Neal runs into the back of him, and then Matt Neal's going to get collected again hard there by one of the Alfa Romeos. That was a hard impact.
Well, we're down on the grid again as they clear up the chaos down towards Druids. And Gordon, want to get a word. What did you see in the run down to Druids?
Yeah, I mean, it all happened right in front of me. Looked like Matt Jackson spun. Whether he got taken out or not, I don't know. But he spun right across the bow of my car, and I must have missed him by, a matter of centimetres, and Matt was right behind me. I'd obviously run straight into him.
Bit optimistic by Matt Jackson, or was he always just going to spin on that slippery concrete on the exit of Paddock?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the rear-wheel drive car starts particularly well, and he made a good getaway, but round the outside in the wet at the first corner at Brands Hatch is always kind of dicing with death, and sometimes you can make up a lot of places and other times you don't. And obviously, unfortunately for you know, for Matt Jackson, he's gone off and he's taken, you know, my teammate Matt Neal with him, and from what I gather, the damage on Matt Neal's car is quite substantial, so it's not good.
Yeah, and any reports as to how Matt is? He just looks a bit sort of battered and bruised.
Yeah, I mean, nothing kind of coming through really. Apparently, all I've heard is that he's out of the car. You know, it would have been a fairly big impact. That would be a fifth gear to nothing in not a lot of time. And if somebody's hit him from behind as well, it's a double impact. So we'll hope he's okay. Okay,
well, you're the only Honda Civic left for the weekend. Have a good race when it restarts. It's raining pretty heavily now, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you, and we'll give it our best shot to hold on for Team Halfords. Okay.
Of the original 23 cars that were due to start this race, we're down to 15 now. Let's see what happens when the lights go out and Colin Turkington tries to get off pole position. He makes a good start. Darren Turner away better this time, and the two Vauxhalls have got ahead of Jason Plato. Plato not away nearly as well as he was in the original start. Chilton goes into third place, Giovanardi's up into fourth, and Plato has now got his hands full because he's got Gordon Shed and Tom Onslow Cole tucked in behind him as they go up towards Druids.
Yeah, it's the worst possible start for that man Plato, because in the first race, on the first start, he got away well and got in front of his teammate Turner. This time he's got both Vauxhalls, including championship rider Giovanardi, in front of him.
So this is certainly going to add some spice to the mix. Colin Turkington, though, has made a great start from that pole position. The Team RAC BMW is easing out a lead. We thought it might struggle in the wet conditions, but he's going extremely well at the moment. Darren Turner in second place, fending off Tom Chilton in the Vauxhall. It's Sayat second, Vauxhall third, Vauxhall fourth, and then Sayat in fifth place. That is Jason Plato, chased by the Team Halfords car of Gordon Shed. The rest of them across the line behind Shed. We've still got Tom Onslow Cole, then Mike Jordan in 8th place, Gavin Smith on his return to British Touring Cars running 9th, Adam Jones in 10th, then it's Matt Allison, Aaron Good, Chris Stockton, then it's Richard Marsh and Martin Bell, and that is the entire 15-car field after that huge accident in the first attempt to run this race. But Turkington's certainly getting a good first lap in. Turner now perhaps just beginning to close up to him again. We're looking there at Adam Jones and Gavin Smith. They're running down in 9th and 10th places.
Yeah, battle of the privateer Sayats there, with Adam Jones, Gavin Smith and Matt Allison all fighting for position there.
Back with the leaders though, and look, Darren Turner's managed to close that gap up. So Turkington had a useful advantage at the end of the first lap, but Darren Turner has closed right up with the Sayat, which we've seen go well in the wet conditions previously this year. Donington Park in particular, but Turkington out in front. He will do everything to hold on to this lead. Remember, he won race 1 on the road at Snetterton last time out, only to be excluded from the results for being a little bit underweight, but he's under attack, and the Sayat moving to the outside as they head up to Druids.
Yeah, interesting watching that shot looking down the hill there. You can see Turkington didn't put his wheels over the curb on the green painted tarmac on the exit of paddock like Matt Jackson did, but the front wheel drive cars in actual fact can run on it. The front wheel drive cars less destabilised by the painted track surface there, so it isn't so dangerous for them.
Again, you can see the BMW leading, staying off the curbs. Here comes Turner, and Turkington really goes tight to defend. Surely there's contact behind Chilton. Makes a bit of contact with the back of Darren Turner's car, gets him big sideways, and it might allow Giovanardi to come through.
Yeah, well, if Turkington's going to be that defensive, then we're going to see a lot of that sort of bunching up into the corner, particularly at Druids and Clearways.
Turkington a bit of respite there. He's able to turn in wider into Paddock Hill Bend, that plunging downhill right-hander, one of the finest corners of any motor racing circuit in the world, and it's such a challenge to get it right. Let's just take a look at that again here. This was as they bunched up. Watch for Chilton.
Yeah, Turner was a little bit wide, maybe looking to cut back and get a run on the outside of the corner, and Tom Chilton saw, well, maybe a sniff of an opportunity.
This was another view of it. This was on board Turner. He's wide here turning in, and then Chilton's going to come up the inside, and you can't even feel the contact from on board Turner's car.
No, certainly couldn't hear it. It didn't really affect him. Chilton did a good job of getting out of that.
Well, they've already come round another lap there, so it's still a battle for the lead. Turkington versus Turner. In third place it's still Chilton. Behind him it's Giovanardi. 5th place for Plato. Here's the battle for the lead, but Turkington should be able to hold it as they come through paddock this time. On board with Darren Turner then, and he's got to do the job for Sayat here this weekend. He's got to try and do as much as he can to score points for the team and to look after Jason Plato's lead in the Drivers' Championship. But the Vauxhalls are ahead of Plato at the moment. Plato won't be too worried. Giovanardi's only 1 position ahead of him, so he won't be losing too many points to his big rival at this point.
No, I think Plato's probably going to say discretion is a better part of valour at the moment. In these sort of conditions, he can afford to give up just a few points to Giovinardi, and better just to stay there. See, every time Turkington defends, has he gone around the outside? They must be side by side. They are coming onto the straight.
Turkington battling to hold the lead still, but now Turner's on his outside as they come onto the Bramham Straight and Brands Hatch, touching wheels at 130 miles an hour as they crest the rise into Paddock Hill Bend. Turkington on the inside, Turner trying to sweep round the outside, looking for the additional grip, and he's in the gravel trap. Well, he fought his way, but he got on the paint and he ran wide.
Well, that was possibly a little bit naive there from Darren Turner from touring car circles, because a car on the outside is always going to be pushed out wide, and would have been better to have backed off and tried to cut inside going back up the hill.
Yeah, and that's put him behind Jason Plato now, so he can't do much to help his teammate now. Plato's up to himself. Talk us through it here, Tim.
Yeah, if Darren had braked early and cut inside, he might have gone back, but he's tried to go side by side. Turkington's his car's always going to run out wide, and the car on the outside is always going to end up in the gravel.
Absolutely, and that one was always going to come. Let's just take another look at it. Turkington on the inside, the car's drifting, and even though Turkington's trying not to go too wide, there's nothing he can do really, and Turner's squeezed out to the edge, and perhaps, as you say, he could have thought that one through a little differently. Up the hill they come, and it's John Turkington leading from Tom Chilton, then Fabrizio Giovinardi. So that's the 1, 2, 3, and the two Vauxhalls now really on the attack. Looks as though Chilton will try and get past Turkington if he can. Of course, Giovinardi desperate to get the points for a victory here and try and close that gap on Plato.
Yeah, some interesting conversation I've just heard on the radio from Darren Turner to the team saying, shall I stay behind or can I go forward? Well, obviously he's behind Jason Plato. The team have told him in no uncertain terms to stay behind. Yeah,
Giovinardi there getting very close to the back of his teammate. Look at all three of them almost pushing. Oh, there is a bit of contact. Chilton now gets out of the way as Giovinardi surely is going to go into second place, but Plato will try and follow him. Now this is interesting because Chilton will do anything he can to stop that Seat coming through. Giovinardi's moved up into second, but Plato's going to follow him, and Chilton in a way has not done what the Vauxhall team needed, but he has come back to the inside. Oh, this could be tough stuff coming up the hairpin. Plato is sensible there. That's intelligent driving from Plato, because Chilton was going to do anything he could to prevent that Seat staying ahead of him.
Yeah, good driving by Chilton. That's exactly what Turner should have done earlier, to cut back underneath the car, and Plato didn't fight him, but we've now got Onslow Cole right behind Turner.
Yeah, indeed, Tom Onslow Cole running in 6th place, right behind Darren Turner. So this is the second of the Team RAC cars. You've got one leading. Tom Onslow Cole here, who won at Snetterton last time out. Well, he's running in 6th position, so that's a good run for him. Giovinardi, remember, is now in 2nd. Giovinardi's got a position between himself and his big rival Jason Plato in this first race, and further back you've got Gordon Shetton versus Mike Jordan for 7th place, and it's a very evenly matched battle between the new Honda Civic and the older Honda Integra. There seems to be very little to choose between them, and through Paddock Hill Bend they come, and Jordan had a little bit of a better run through the corner, but I'm not sure he's able to convert it into getting alongside.
Yeah, 6 cars pretty much nose to tail at the front here. Then there's plenty more action I fancy in the remainder of this 22-lap race.
Yeah, the original race distance shortened by 2 laps from 24 down to 22. We're on lap 9 out of those 22, so there's still plenty of time to go, as you say, before we see this one resolved. Now, one of the Vauxhalls has dropped back a bit, we gather.
Yeah, that was coming along the Brabham Straight. Almost looked like a gearbox problem or something, but he dropped back. Well, wait, I think it's Chilton. There he is running the Vauxhall at the back there.
Yeah,
and it is Tom Chilton, so some problem there. He's still going quickly. Maybe he got wide coming out of Graham Hill and got on the grass. We'll have to wait for a replay, but he's dropped back, and that's given... oh, no! Repeat of the Mac Johnson. There you go, the rear-wheel drive got on the tarmac. He's managed to save it, but both the Seats and the other BMW and Chilton have gone through.
Wow, what a save by Turkington, but he's thrown away the race lead here, and Colin Turkington managed to get it pointing in the right direction, has rejoined the fray, but the race leader, let's take a look.
Turkington under pressure from Giovinardi, goes in a bit quicker this lap, goes over the curb, puts a wheel on the paint and spins round. Giovinardi misses him. Turkington's been trying so hard not to do that all race, but the pressure from Giovinardi just made that mistake happen.
So that means that he's dropped back behind his teammate Tom Onslow Cole as well. Race leader is now Fabrizio Giovinardi in the Vauxhall. Vauxhall are desperate to close up that gap to Seat, but Plato is running in second place, and he's protected by his teammates. The way things have worked out, actually looking quite good for Seat now. It's a funny race, this, of contrasting fortunes. Turner is now running shotgun for his teammate, and he's going to try and keep Tom Onslow-Cole behind. Round the hairpin they come, tucked in behind them still is Tom Chilton. Then it's behind them the original leader Colin Turkington. Watch out in the background, Gordon Shedden, Mike Jordan and Adam Jones, and Jones has slid past Jordan. As I look out of the commentary box window in the background, you can see that Adam Jones in the Team Aircool car has just nipped past Mike Jordan, and that puts him up into 8th place. Jordan down to 9th place. Then we've got Gavin Smith in 10th, Matt Allison in 11th, then Erkut, Gaziliamak, Richard Marsh, Chris Stockton and Martin Bell are the cars still running. This is on board with Jones when he took the place, Tim.
Yeah, well, Mike Jordan has run into the back of Gordon Shedden, slowed himself up coming down the hill, and Adam Jones in an instant has thrown the car up the inside. Very good opportunist pass.
Yeah, good stuff from Adam Jones there. Gains the place. Race leader Giovanardi in the Vauxhall, the Vectra, the new car for this year, which has been so impressive, but it struggled here at Brands Hatch at the first race of the season. They really have developed the car extremely well, and that's why Giovanardi is battling with Plato in the championship. But Plato's hanging on to second, which is really, he'll be fairly content with that. And there's a few more points gap between a first and a second, but nonetheless, he can just stay where he is. He won't lose too much of that 14-point advantage, and he'll still be in good shape for race 2 of the day. Looking at Tom Onslow-Cole, we're riding on board with him. He's in 4th place, and he's behind that second Seat of Darren Turner.
Yeah, you can see the misted up patch on the right-hand side of the windscreen, but then clear in the middle. That car's fitted with an electric heated front screen to keep that cleared. You can see it works pretty well.
Yeah, it's just a little bit tricky turning into some of these right-handers where he's looking through the misty bit, but basically he's got reasonable visibility. Wipers are still working away. There's only a little bit of drizzle now. It was raining hard earlier on, but now it's just a gentle summer drizzle that we're enjoying here at Brands Hatch. But conditions certainly very greasy and slippery, and as we've seen on the curbs and the painted sections, it's so easy to get into trouble. And Turkington paying the price. He's down to 6th position now. Darren Turner's got the fastest lap in this race, but he's currently running in 3rd. He set that pretty early on. That was on lap 2. We're now on lap 13 out of 22.
Yeah, the conditions pretty consistent in actual fact. There won't be any danger of these guys wearing out their wet tyres. It's not raining heavily, so there's not a lot of running water across the track. Although they're kicking up a lot of spray, the conditions very, very consistent.
Jason Plato holds on a second. Tom Onslow-Cole had a little look. Meanwhile in the pits, Martin Bell. And now Tom Onslow-Cole trying to get past Darren Turner, and Tom Chilton trying to get up there as well. Oh, Chilton making contact with the back of the BMW virtually, but no, and that's given Darren Turner a little bit of a break. And Turner's not very happy. We can hear him on the radio. We've got the radio link with him. We're not going to talk to him just yet, but we can hear him. And he's not happy that Plato's backing him up into these guys.
Well, Plato's driving, you know, Plato doesn't want to take any risks, so he's probably not really driving flat out. And look at that, that's
Chilton up the inside of Onslow-Cole and makes contact, and I think he's through. So a little bit of attack there, but Chilton is through, and Turkington now coming up to battle his teammate as well up towards Paddock Hill Bend. So Chilton into 4th position, on board with Onslow-Cole, and he's got his own teammate having a little go at him, but he's not quite close enough to attack there.
Oh, he nearly lost it again.
It's so slippery there, and particularly the BMWs are struggling out of Paddock Hill Bend on that curbing. It's absolutely lethal.
The painted curbs and the painted tarmac are lethal, and Turkington, we saw on board him having a moment there as he put a wheel over, but now this has given Turner a bit of a gap behind him, these three battling, but he was very unhappy about not being able to challenge Plato, who he thought was running a lot slower than him, and the fact that he was then getting heat from behind. But that's team motor racing.
Yeah, he's going to have to put up with it a little bit, isn't he? He's got a ride shotgun for Jason Plato. There is Chilton running 4th then the 2 Team RAC cars. Onslow-Cole ahead of Turkington. Shedden is still in 7th place in the Team Halfords car. Bit of a strange weekend this has been for Team Halfords. I know Matt Neal was involved in that earlier accident, but both cars have not been on the sort of pace that we've come to expect from that Team Halfords Honda Civic, the new car. I don't really understand it. I'm not sure they do either.
No, it's been a strange weekend for them. They had a very good test down at Pembrey in the week before. They thought the cars were going well. well, as we see Thomas O'Cole getting another ragged moment coming out of Druids, but strangely both in the wet and the dry, the two Dynamics Halfords cars just haven't showed that front-running pace.
Adam Jones was right behind Shedden coming out of Graham Hill Bend, just behind these guys. I thought he was almost going to run into the back of him actually, but he backed off and had to back off, and it almost put him into trouble with Mike Jordan behind. There we are, there's the three of them. Shedden is struggling, there's no doubt, in these conditions with that Team Halford's Honda Civic, the new Honda Civic, and we're on board now with Jones, who got so close a moment ago to the back of him, and Adam going in the older Seat Toledo, remember, and he's put in some brilliant performances this year already in this car. And let's see whether he's now going to be able to keep Shedden under pressure in the remaining laps. Still several laps to go. We're on lap 17 out of 22. Meanwhile, the two BMWs are racing, and it's Turkington getting past his teammate. Turkington retaking fifth, having led the early stages of this race.
Yeah, he was just drifting the car nicely there, but still going forwards. But yeah, Adam Jones in the air-cooled engineering car, and now it's Turkington that gets on the painted curbs. But Jones at the first meeting here in April, he had a 7th, a 6th and a 5th, and was one of the stars of that meeting. And he hasn't done the full season, but whenever he's been out, he's been hugely impressive.
Two BMWs running together. You're on board with Thomas O'Cole, who lost that position to his teammate a moment ago. I shouldn't think there's much in the way of team orders between these two. They're both battling. They're not up for the championship themselves, so it's really between themselves to sort who's going to be ahead of who, and Turkington's taken that place at the moment. So Turkington in 5th place, Onslow Cole in 6th, but as you can see, almost identical speeds around this Brands Hatch circuit. Up under the bridge they go, into the hairpin, and they're still a little way behind Tom Chilton, who's running in 4th place. Up ahead of them, it's the two Seats, but in front of them all, and having eased away quite considerably now, is Fabrizio Giovanardi. Look at Jones, he's got past Shedden.
Oh, great move, that's his favourite pace, but he's lost a lot of traction coming out. Now Jordan's taking Shedden up the inside, and Shedden's wheel's gone, his left front tracking arm's gone.
Yeah, he's surely not going to get... Oh, he made it round that corner.
He'll get round the left-hander, but he won't be able to turn right. Now look at him go straight on.
Yeah, he's trying to go all around the out. Jordan's in trouble as well, though. He's going slowly, so there must be damage to his car too. That was a bit unfortunate, really, all that. Shedden tried to shut the door on Jordan when he was had lost momentum already. And it seemed a little bit of an unnecessary accident, and a great shame for both those guys. But, well, we've lost enough cars from this race already. We don't want to lose any more, but unfortunately Shedden is in the pits.
Yeah, this is on board with Adam Jones coming down the hill from Druids. Watch him go up the inside into Graham Hill. It's his favourite overtaking place. It's hard. There's a bit of a clash. They go wide, lose a bit of traction coming on there on the grass creek. It's behind you that you can't see what's happening now.
I wonder if did this do the original damage to that? No.
No, I don't think so. I think if it carries on, you'll see Jordan come up the inside, and that's what caused the damage there.
Yeah. Jordan was on such a good run. He had a huge amount of momentum, and Shedden was trying to sort of recover himself. And I'm not sure he even realised quite how far Jordan has got alongside him there, and it was inevitable contact.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan was no way to blame for that. Shedden was moving across, and Jordan had the pace coming out of Graham Hill.
Race leader Giovanardi on lap number 20 out of 22 now, and it's looking good for a 7th win of the season for the Italian. And this is going to keep his championship hopes alive, but he's only going to gain 3 points, maybe 4 points over Plato. He gains an extra point for leading during the race as well. Plato's not led any laps in this race, so he misses out on that bonus. And the fastest lap bonus has gone to Darren Turner. So it's good news for Giovanardi. It will narrow the gap very slightly between these two rivals, but in the pits comes Jordan, and that contact caused a puncture.
Yeah, you can see the tyre just off the rim there, that contact that he should finish. But this is interesting. Chilton and the two BMWs have now caught back up behind Turner. So Plato hasn't had the pace. I know he's got the full championship ballast on, but he hasn't had quite as much pace in the wet as you'd expect.
Meanwhile, looking out of our window, Chris Stockton's just taken a trip across the grass. He got a wheel on the grass going into Graham Hill Bend, and he lost the back end before it even turned in. So poor old Chris, that's a bit of a shame, because the car's actually been reliable for once.
Yeah, it has, and Mike Jordan's now returned, joined back in, but Turner's going to get some heat from Chilton now in the last lap.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see what happens. 20 laps completed. We're on lap 21 out of 22, about a lap and a half to go. And you're on board with Darren Turner. He's running in third, but Tom Chilton looking racy behind him. Chilton loves this Brands Hatch circuit. He's had good results here in the past. He might have a go. No, Turner comes, it comes right up behind him into the apex area. Look how close it is. Fantastic view from the back of Turner's car, who's really got his hands full now, as Darren, of Tom Chilton, who's desperate to try and get a podium finish here. And of course, it all matters. It's where you qualify for the next race. And we're on the final lap here. Chilton will have a go, I'm sure. Giovinazzi leads. Oh, Chilton's all out of shape. Big sideways moment, and he ends up in the gravel.
Yeah, he did very well to save that, but he lost 2 places in the process in attacking Turner for 3rd place.
Oh dear, what a race Chilton's had. Up and down like a yo-yo he's been. He has recovered, but he's come back out behind those 2 BMWs. His teammate is heading for win number 7 of the season. He and Plato were tied on 6 wins apiece coming into this race, but it's now Giovinazzi who's going to gain that little bit of an edge, and Vauxhall will take their 11th win around this Brands Hatch Indy circuit in the past 6 years. But they and Seat have certainly dominated most of the races here in the last few seasons, and it is Fabrizio Giovinazzi who takes victory in race 1 at Brands Hatch after it's all taken a bit of a while. 2nd place goes to Plato, Turner takes 3rd. Chilton is dropping down because he of course made that mistake, so Turkington in 4th, Onslow Cole in 5th, Chilton in 6th. Great 7th place for Adam Jones. 8th is going to go to Gavin Smith. Good job to Gavin Smith on his return to British Touring Cars. He'll be pleased with that. Just looking at a little battle here that's still going on for the last place on road, effectively, with Jordan having been into the pits. This is for 11th place, Richard Marsh versus Chris Stockton. And I think Marsh should just hold on unless Chris gets a great run out of clearways.
Well, he has got a good run, and he is catching him.
Oh,
It's going to be neck and neck. I think Stockton's going to do it.
Great stuff. He did have a great run there. So Stockton takes 11th and Marsh is in 12th. And that's a good little battle right to the checkered flag after Stockton's mistake earlier on. So race victory goes to Fabrizio Giovinazzi to VX Racing, who take the victory by 3 seconds from Jason Plato and Darren Turner for Seat. Team RAC take 4th and 5th. Chilton is 6th ahead of Adam Jones, Gavin Smith, with Matt Allison taking points for 9th, and Aircut getting into the points as well in 10th.
Well, what a race. Important victory for Fabrizio Giovinazzi, but Jason Plato was right there behind him in 2nd place. Just 15 cars took the restart after that huge accident on the first corner. We understand that Matt Neal and David Pinkney have been taken off to hospital, but it's just for precautionary checks. And what of pole sitter Colin Turkington? Well, he managed to see off this challenge from Darren Turner, but then he lost it when Fabrizio Giovinazzi came up behind him. We'll be hearing from Fabrizio and Colin Turkington in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Brands Hatch. Fabrizio Giovinazzi celebrating his victory there. A win that closes the gap at the top of the points table to just 10 points. Let's go over to Ted. I think he's found Fabrizio.
Well, Fabrizio, congratulations. Very tricky conditions, but he was there. He's behind you.
Yeah,
you couldn't take full advantage.
In front of me, behind me. We are in love, maybe.
Well, I'm not sure about that, gents, but how difficult was it out there?
Yeah, I think the car was great. My Vauxhall was really great because we have done a lot of job on the wet after Donington experience, and yeah, it was absolutely great. I just keep calm in the first 3-4 laps. There was a lot of fight. Say, no rush, no rush, no rush. We will do good, and in the hand it was.
Do you think you would have got Turkington without him making that mistake?
I think he was in a little bit of trouble because he have done some mistake when he was in front of my teammate, and when he was in front of me twice, he just finished long on the braking, so it wasn't difficult. I don't know. We never know. I've won.
Well, Colin, it seems a paltry reward, 4th, for such a brave opening few laps.
Yeah, you know, I tried my best, you know, for that race. I knew it was going to be difficult, you know, when the wet conditions, but it's really when there's some water starts to lie in the track like there is at the bottom of Paddock Hill, you know, it caught me out. It's just a puddle sitting there, and you know, I didn't even know I was going to spin until I was practically through the puddle, and it turned me around. But you know, I think we recovered quite well, and you know, it's another independence victory for Team RAC. You know, it's disappointing to be leading the race that long and then finish 4th, but you know, there's 2 races to go.
And when Darren Turner came on your outside, did you push him out?
No, not at all. No, I think he must have had a bit of understeer. So yeah, no, my car was handling quite well at the start of the race. You know, it was good enough to keep the guys behind. So I think he was quite keen to get into the lead, but I wasn't so keen to give it up.
Okay, bad luck. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks.